Moving on now, I have some good news for Nigerian youth. You must have heard it already. But the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Olakunle Oluseye Nafiu, has officially confirmed that all corps members will begin receiving a new monthly allowance starting March 2025. Now, this has been a long-awaited increment, and it's coming 6 months after the federal government's promise to raise the stipend from 33K to 77,000 naira. Now, this adjustment aligns with the newly enacted National Minimum Wage Amendment of 2024. For a long time, as we saw in social media, corps members across the country have struggled and been very vocal with the rising cost of living, and this increase hopefully might you guys provide some much needed financial relief. But let's take a look at social media. Kopawi, Kopawa. Timmy says, they have been saying this since last year, and this year is running out, and nothing is done still. And Otaxi Connect says, this is a welcome development. Congratulations to the corps members. My advice to you on your allowance increment is that you use it in a meaningful way and help your parents with part of your allowance every month, especially if your parents aren't financially stable. That sounds to me like black tax. If you know, you know. And moving on in our next story, Maria Ochefu, the woman behind the popular Mami markets in military barracks across Nigeria, has died, unfortunately, at the age of 86 years old. Now, if you've ever been to an NYSC orientation camp in Nigeria, then you know that Mami Market is the lifeline of the entire camp. In the 1950s, Mami Ochefu, the wife of a soldier, started selling food and drinks to soldiers at the military barracks in Makurdi, Benue State. And over time, the concept spread across military and paramilitary institutions, including NYSC orientation camps, where it became an essential part of camp life. We're seeing the history of NYSC here and where NYSC stands today. But let's take a look at social media. RIP to Mami Ochefu. Psychology Chris says, she's supposed to be recognized nationally. She's a national hero and she should be honored. Mami Market is a savior, especially in the far northern part of the country. In Mami Market, when I served, I lived off of Indomie for a solid 1 month. It wasn't fun. Sugar says, Omo, the mama na legend, but Mami Market is always expensive. And in our final story, this is very somber. A disturbing case of child abuse has surfaced in eastern Nigeria, Enugu, where a father is accused of repeatedly assaulting his 9-year-old daughter, even after her mother reported him to the police multiple times. Take a look at this.
Is this an excuse that you drink and you sleep with your daughter 2 times? Is this an excuse? You may tell you, you will see it. I mean, I wish you are in 1 naira. Is it on 1 naira? GLK. Is it on what are you? When you born, do you know that if you see your daughter is carbon copy of you, you promote your gola. Your polar rise. You go
if I won't react,
sexually assault
allegedly assault.
One woman our compound. I say one letter. Because God says, I don't bring people. They give him money. The woman don't give him money. All of them. The other one, the father.
They talk rubbish. They talk rubbish. Did you sleep with your daughter?
I'm not sleeping with my daughter.
I have to ask the question, how does such abuse continue despite, her mother intervening and reporting this to enforcement authorities and without somebody intervening on her mother's complaints? I will direct this to Etoman Ibrahim right now quickly for lack of time. I'm not going to be able to take a tweet. Abroad, we have child protective services who are constantly at intervals checking on children. What happened here?
We have child welfare services too, and we have an arm of the Nigerian police that takes care of cases like this. What baffles me is that the case was reported several times and a thorough investigation wasn't done, and the man just continued. For the perpetrator of such a heinous crime, yes, they say you can't say he's guilty until he's been proven guilty, but for that to even come at all is so wrong. It's a psychological problem. That man needs psychological help, and he needs to be separated from that girl immediately.
Yeah, I totally align my thoughts with you, Etoma. And I think if he's found guilty, he should be punished, very well punished. I know that Section 357 of the Criminal Code and Section 282 of the Penal Code, calls for life imprisonment. But if there's something more severe that can be done to that kind of a person, it needs to be done. Because how can you defile a small girl, let alone, to even talk about it, your own daughter? What kind of human being, would have to sexually be aroused to that young girl? If you're sex-starved, why don't you? There are places that you can go. There are places that you can go to relieve yourself. Those who are sex workers, commercial sex workers. Why don't you go there? Or I don't know. It's just something that it's abhorrent, and I want the man to be disciplined very well.
Pedophilia is a psychiatric issue.
Absolutely.
Yes, and that's what that man is suffering. And his own is a higher dose of it because he's doing it to his daughter.
And this also speaks to the security agent. This man's case is said to have been reported several times without any action taken. This is something.
But if this occurred over a period of a few years, as reports are suggesting, I want to ask why her mother did not remove her from that household, whatever it took. That is the question I have to ask as a woman.
But there remains the fact that there was a report made to the security officials.
Her mother owes her the first duty of care, Ibrahim.
Yes, we agree. We agree the mother has the first duty of care, and that duty of care should have actually gotten the woman to take her daughter far away from that house. So I agree with you that she should have done that, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Reasons we don't know.
We hope that
it's a very sad story.
We hope that child's rights activists will do something about this very, very well, so that the man will be punished. He must not go unpunished.
All right. On that very sad note, let's tell you that the views and reaction of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. That's our package for today. My name is Etoma Edu, and have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Monday.